Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, and welcome to the 1770s. We are in North America. We're in the 13 colonies. It's the War of Independence. So yeah, this is a new faction that I've made. It's the War of Independence faction. It has got American and British units. So we've got the British over on this side, and then we've got the American Continental Army on this side. So I'll start off with the British. We've got Hessian mercenaries, or Hessian auxiliaries, depending on how you want to describe them. The British referred to them as auxiliaries, and there's still like conflict 2 centuries later about whether or not these were mercenaries or not, because under the Geneva Convention, technically they're not mercenaries. So yeah, you can call them either mercenaries or auxiliaries, depending on. But yeah, so these are them. They've got their green tops with red highlighting and sort of like silver buttons. I couldn't get them with the sort of like tall Hessian mercenary hat, so they've just got these tricorn hats instead, because they sort of alternate. So yeah. The only real good way of doing these guys is by having them have the tricorn hat, which is fine. It fits with the rest of the units here. But yeah, so these are these guys. They've got exactly the same stats as a regular line infantryman, and they've still got muskets with bayonets, because, well, who wouldn't? And then we've got the main British line. So these are your colonial British troops. They've got their packs with the white straps. They've got the traditional red coat, white trousers, with blue highlighting, and still the same sort of silver-coloured buttons, and their tricorn hats. And then we've got the British officer, who I've just reused from the Napoleonic era set, because I couldn't be bothered to make a new one, and he sort of fits either way because he still has the tricorn hat. And then we've got some grenadiers. These are different grenadiers to the Napoleonic grenadiers. If I get the there you go. If I get the Napoleonic British grenadier, he is different to the colonial British grenadier. He's got a different uniform. He's got different colours. He's got the same grenadier hat and all of that, but yeah, he is different to the colonial grenadier there. So yeah, new model. And then behind them they've just got some more redcoats. Yeah, and they're all ready to take the fight to these traitorous colonial Americans who are over here. So we've got 2 types of American infantrymen. We've got the Irregulars, which are these guys, and then we've got the regular Continental Army regulars over here. So the Irregulars here are just wearing all white with some blue highlighting just to show them off, and then they've got a belt on. They've got sort of 1700 style hat, and they also have muskets without bayonets, because I just wanted to make them slightly more different. They still have packs on them, and they've got the colour party here. The British are the ones that are going to be advancing here against the dug-in Americans. So yeah, we've just got the colour party here, who's a regular Continental Armyman, but he's just got a stay banner. Yeah, so these are the Irregulars. The Irregulars have got slightly worse stats than the regular infantry. They do slightly less damage and reload slightly slower, because they're not as well trained, we could say, than the regular colonial army or Continental Army, which are these guys here. So yeah, these guys, they're the same model as the British, except they have got obviously different colours. They've got sort of gold buttons. They've got blue top and red highlighting, which fits the uniform that they had. And then they've got their officer here, who's got the sash. They used various sashes and like coloured buttons to donate to show who's in charge, because they didn't really have proper uniforms. But yeah, this guy, I've given him the sash, which is for, I think, it's the aide-de-camp for the Continental Army, but here I'm just using it just to make him stand out a little bit more. But yeah, he's still got the same usual cutlass and flintlock. and the rest of them. The rest of them have got regular muskets, and then we've got more irregulars over here with a colour party. So here we go. They are equal in terms of numbers, near enough. Well, they are actually the same. The only reason the Americans got slightly more is because they have got 3 colour parties keeping them there. So with that, let's get going. So the British are going to be advancing, like I said. Here they are in their line, looking all very nice. Looking all very nice and happy, I suppose you could say, as they march forwards. The Hessian mercenaries, they're slightly less in formation than the redcoats, but here we go. So they should all open up at the same time with the volley. The Grenadiers I don't think will actually throw their grenades because no one's really advancing to them. Colonial Army, or Continental Army rather, gets off the first shot. No, the British got off the first shot. Yeah, British got off the first shot. That's interesting. They must have been slightly closer. But yeah, here we go. They've sort of broken up their line formation. Bad discipline right then. These guys are heading towards the Irregulars over there. Let's see how the Hessian mercenaries fare. So far, no one else has taken any shots. Just there you go. There you go. The first exchange between. There goes the Continental Army. There you go. Suffering heavy redhead. No, they're not redhead. Suffering heavy red coat. There you go. Red coat casualties. The Irregulars doing a bit of a number on the Hessians, although in return, yeah, the Hessians have managed to deal quite a few casualties to them. The Continental Army, they've lost their colour party, but the Irregulars over here still have theirs. Oh yeah, that's a lot of dead redcoats. The Continental Army has really decimated the redcoats there. And the Hessian mercenaries, we've still got one guy here who needs to fire. Or maybe he has already fired, I'm not sure. But yeah, the Irregulars here are... Well, we just got to wait for them to reload. This is what battles happened of the time. Just a load of people standing around in a line waiting to reload. Takes them like 20 seconds. Oh, here we go. First Continental Armyman has reloaded, and a couple more are joining them. There we go. Kills off another redcoat, but the redcoats are starting to reload now. There goes the Hessian mercenaries as well. The Irregulars still... Oh, some of them have actually reloaded in time, but there goes... Oh, a double kill for one of the Hessians. But yeah, I think the main redcoat line is not going to fare well against the Continental Army. Yeah, here goes the next volley. In. The British are trying to fire back, but their numbers have certainly diminished. The Irregulars are starting to reload. There's only one guy left on this flank. There he is, and he fires back. He kills off one of the American loyalists. But yeah, the Hessians are starting to die. There's only 3 redcoats left of the main centre line. 2 redcoats left. I mean, the Hessian mercenaries have nearly killed off the Irregulars. So, I mean, maybe the Hessians can... Oh, there goes the final guy on this flank, which means that the Irregulars over there can turn their focus on these guys. Maybe the Hessians can bring it back for the British? I mean, you never know. There's only 2 Irregulars there and a handful of Continental Army regulars here, but... Yeah, I don't think the British have got this one, I have to say. Yeah, everyone's reloading now again. The next volley has claimed their casualties. Still, the Americans have still got 1 colour party left over there with the Irregulars. Oh, there you go. Next Americans have reloaded. There goes one. He narrowly misses the redcoat. He was very lucky. The 2 redcoats have reloaded now. And the Hessian mercenaries have also, half of them have reloaded. One of the American Irregulars manages to take down 2 of the Hessians. And the Britishman claims the life of another American. The Irregulars, I mean, they're doing their best. 2 shots coming. No, he's dead. I mean, they did manage to get a double kill on the Hessians, though. And yep, that redcoat did not survive another volley from the Continental Army. There's just, what's that, 5 Britishmen left, with the 4 Hessians and a regular redcoat. Yep, Continental Armyman takes out another Hessian. Another one zips by. I mean, I do not think the British have this in the bag. There's at least 10 Americans to the 4 Britishmen, and let's be honest, the Americans aren't going to miss every shot from now. So I don't think the British are going to have this one. So they reload for the 3rd volley. There you go, Continental Armyman's reloaded. Hessians have started to reload as well. He doesn't manage to get off his shot in time before he's struck down, though. That's unfortunate for the British. They could have really done with that extra shot, but there goes another shot, kills off another American. There's just 3 Britishmen left now. Well, 1 Britishman and 2 Hessians. German Hessian auxiliaries. Unfortunately misses his shot there. And the Continental Army and the Irregulars have now reloaded, and that's unfortunate for the redcoat. Completely misses his shot and gets killed by 2 musket balls. There's a bit overkill there. The other Hessian has reloaded. I don't think he managed to score a hit though. No, and the Continental Army, yeah, here they come. Kills off one of the Germans. It's just this guy left. And he is reloading. And we've got one of the Irregulars here who has reloaded as well. Those guys are just sort of stuck back there, but there goes the Irregular. And he takes him out. So, yeah, I mean, it turns out that even though the Irregulars are slightly worse infantry in terms of stats, it doesn't matter. As the game just freezes. Okay, that was strange, but anyway, yes. So yeah, it doesn't. Even though the Irregulars are technically inferior infantry to the regulars and the mercenaries, it didn't matter because, well, as we can see by the many British bodies, yeah, the Americans have won this day. And once more, we still have 5 Colonial Continental Army regulars. And we still have 4 Irregulars plus a colour party, so they do still have the American flag flying here. Say this is the American flag, and the British, well, they're all dead. They're all dead along with the Germans. So yeah, the Grenadiers didn't really do much. I didn't think they would. I just wanted to put them in there. But yeah, British in terms of cost should have won that, but turns out they didn't. Yeah, so there's the American Irregular. They cost 85 compared to the 100 of the regular. The mercenaries and the regulars and the grenadiers all cost the same amount. The colour parties are all 60. The officers are all 150. So, yeah. Maybe if the British had some backup. Maybe if the British had some more backup coming in terms of another unit of British regulars. And then one more line. And an officer. There you go. Maybe one more squad will do it for them. So the 2 lines are going to advance again, yeah. There you go. Here comes the backup redcoats. They're going to march. And yeah, we'll see how well this goes. Maybe the opening volley for the Americans won't claim as many British. There you go. 1 American guy charges forward. I think that's why the British get off their first shots. And then these guys still break formation and start heading over to this flank for the Irregulars. They just apparently really hate the fact that there are some Americans that don't want to live under British rule. I just don't understand why, but these guys clearly don't like it. Yeah, so far no more action has happened. The Americans are still waiting patiently for the British. Here we go. First American shots coming. There goes the first shots from the Irregulars into the British, who are very bunched up on this flank. But the British are firing back, claiming some American casualties. Yep, there they go. The American officer, he's still alive back then. He's still going. But yeah, there goes the other fire from the Continental Army. The Irregulars, 2, 3, just been struck down. And the Colour Party. Yeah, the Colour Party's dead. The British, I think they've suffered even more casualties than last time in this opening volley. The Hessians haven't fared as badly, though, I don't think, as another one just gets struck down. But look at the centre line. Oh, and the backup redcoats are suffering some casualties as the musket balls pierce through. But I think the initial volley has finished now. But the British fared even worse this time. There's how many redcoats here? 7 redcoats. You've got another 5 there, and then we've got a handful of Hessian mercenaries. And then the Irregulars, though, they've only got 4 there. They've got a lot on this flank, though, and there's a lot of Continental Army men still left. Plus they still have the Colour Party in the centre line. Yeah, hopefully, though, for the British, the second line can still come. The officers rallying them, trying to get them forwards to. I mean, if only they had drums here. If only they had like a drummer that I could have made. That would have made this all far better. But unfortunately, there's no drummer in tabs. I should really add that. Instruments. That'd be fun. More than just a lute. But yeah. So initial fire. A lot of British casualties, not as many American casualties, which is going to help their morale somewhat. But there you go. The British redcoats have started to reload. There you go. Claims another Continental Army casualty and another one. They need to really start thinking about getting some of these collaterals, though, if they can, but don't think they will. One of the Continental Army men have reloaded. I think their reload is only off by like a second, maybe less than a regular infantryman. I didn't want to make them too much worse. Oh, nearly got a collateral there, but there goes another redcoat and another one there. Piercing, kills off another 2 redcoats, but here comes, as the Americans fire off their next volley, here comes the next line of British infantry, killing off 1 more of the Irregulars. There goes 2 more Irregulars. There's only 1 more left on that flank, as the British second line is now starting to open fire. They are, again, very bunched up. The Americans can get a lot of collaterals here. If they're quick, and if the British aren't quick to fire. But yeah, who the hell fired that shot? What are you aiming at? That's a church. Strange. Yeah, the British are starting to take a couple of casualties. They are moving forward slightly. Here we go. Someone fired a terrible shot, and another one. Here comes another American shot. Kills off another redcoat. There's still this 1 irregular here that the Hessians just haven't been able to kill somehow. And these guys, yeah, the officer's charging in. Look at him go. The officer's trying to get the men to follow him. It's because his flintlocker's got terrible range. The officer, for all intents and purposes, is not a battle effective unit. The pistol doesn't even kill someone. I mean, if he manages to get to one of these Irregulars, then you'll see. Oh, what's that? There's a redcoat fired at one of the Irregulars there. Yeah, if this officer manages to get to one of these Irregulars and fire, and hit, then you'll see that it really doesn't do any damage. I mean, look at the range of this thing. It's got barely any range for this pistol. I mean, he's still going. Oh, there you go. He fires, and he missed. There's your 1 chance, and you failed it, officer. You are a useless officer to the British Army there. And all of the Irregulars are looking at him. Oh, but he is distracting the Continental Army from shooting at the redcoats, which may help. May help out, because they're all going to be focusing in on this officer. And so far, none of them have reloaded for the next volley. Oh, I say that, the Irregulars have all started pointing their muskets at him. Do you feel lucky, officer? There goes another 2 Americans, but yep, there goes the officer. And, well, the Irregulars and Continental Army can now turn their focus back onto the British, as, yep, there goes another red coat. Oh, the Hessians have managed to finish off the final Irregular, which means it's just 2 Continental Army soldiers and 2 Irregulars against the horde of the British. Yep, there goes the 2 Irregulars and 1 more of the Continental Army, and it's the Hessians to take the final kill. So, yeah, I mean, the backup British squad definitely helped. I mean, look at how many casualties they've suffered. I mean, yeah, there's the 3 casualties here from just the piercing of the musket balls heading into the back row, but maybe without the second squad they might have actually pulled it out this time. I think this guy probably wasn't on the original flank. I don't think he was probably a offcut from this side. But yeah, there's still quite a few redcoats left, but even so, they've suffered more casualties than last time still because of the volume of bodies, but they did manage to push out the Americans this time. So yeah, there you go. There's the battlefield. So yeah, that is the American War of Independence faction that I've made. Yeah, with 10 units. 10 units, 5 British, 5 Americans. I mean, there's no Tomahawk, so I can't really do Tomahawk soldiers, unfortunately, and cannons are a bit annoying to set up, so I haven't bothered doing them. But yeah, there you go. I'll thank you all for watching, and goodbye.